Good morning and call to order, please. Roll call, everyone's here, I believe, except Dave Brenna, who is still out on, I was going to say maternity leave. He's out on health issues. Passing a card around just to say hello to him. He's doing well after surgery.
Did we ever talk about get Zoom? Because he could do Zoom if you would.
That's a good idea.
I think we had that.
I'll ask. Okay. First our item is approval of the agenda. And motion, please.
I make a motion.
Second.
Eric, second. The agenda is approved. No members of the public here. Approval of the previous month's minutes. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
And seconds. All right. New business, discussion of board vacancies. I know we're coming up, 3 people are coming to their term. I'd ask each of you to write to Ronnie and tell him what your intention is for whether you're going to stay on the board or not. Just let him know by the next meeting.
If we're not automatically going up.
Yes. And also, I have a question. The bylaws state that the committee should be 7 people. Has it been updated since then to make it 9?
No, and I think because that's just what the board consisted of in the past.
Right.
But as for current numbers, no.
Okay, so we can go back to the 7, is there any?
If we needed to.
Okay. Do we have to do a motion to see if that's what the board wants, or how does that work? It wasn't clear from the bylaws how to change it back to what it's been, or what it was.
I'm confused. Are we?
He's saying that in the bylaws it says 7.
Yeah, I got that. We're 9. Are you
We're
saying
9.
you want to change it back to 7, or
No.
are you saying we need to? Because I thought we moved to have it at 9 at one point, way back.
That was my question. I don't have it in my minutes here, so I just want to be sure either it's going to be 9 or 7. Either one's, I don't really care one with the other. I just want to know what's appropriate based on bylaws and past performance. So that's my question. Is it 9 or 7? Mommy?
My thought is it's 9.
Yeah, and I thought that
Yeah.
we had.
That would be
And in
more.
fact, it was
That would be
back
more.
when we
Dave was-
didn't have a lot of people wanting, we didn't have a lot of interest, so 7 seemed okay, I guess. But then in the last couple of years, we've been gaining more interest, so it went to 9. But what I've seen done on other boards is we put in the bylaws a maximum.
Yeah.
So we could put like a maximum of 14, but then have it however many are on the board, and then however many then apply to be on the board. It gives us flexibility to expand the board if we feel like we want to. But we need to probably update the bylaws to something that's more current and more accurate.
Mhm.
So we can either update it to 9, or we can update it to maybe 12, maximum of 12. And that gives us the flexibility to decide. Certain people come in and we think they'd be really great on the board, gives us the flexibility to expand the number that we bring in. But it doesn't mean we have to. So it'd be up to us. What does everybody think of that?
So, question. Go ahead, John.
Okay. So I guess first thing I would want to know is what is the norm in general for other advisory boards? Because if the other boards are averaging, 7 or 8 or 9, then it seems like 12 is excessive. I think we should try to be in line with the other boards. And if having 5 is below the norm, then we need to look at increasing that. I would like to see what the other boards are doing.
Well, my question is, how would we word it if we say we're a board of 9, which we're sort of like now, with a maximum of 12? How does that work in assuring that you have a quorum?
Do we always have to have the odd number, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in case there's a vote that you have to break a tie.
Right, I just thought of that. Well, we could leave it at 9, it's no big deal, but I do think we need to change it to 9.
Right, that's my point. It
Yes, it is.
says here 7, we've been 9 since I've been here. I didn't know what the protocol was before. So do we make a motion to amend the bylaws to 9? I didn't see anything that does that. Should we do that now?
Yeah, I know we voted on it way back when Dave was in, but
Okay.
I don't know that we actually made a motion to say change the bylaws to that. So that's, I guess, what we need to do.
Okay. Let's entertain a motion to make it officially 9, get that in as a bylaw change
A maximum of,
at this point.
okay,
And I think
Do
to
you
your
want to make it?
I'd be okay with that.
and I think to your point, let's see if that's typical for other boards. I'll check on that and see, but let's make it 9 to get that
Okay.
cleaned up for this next go around.
Somebody make a motion?
He did.
Oh,
Oh, John did,
Yeah,
didn't you?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
make a motion that the bylaws be changed to a maximum of 9 board members.
Second?
So,
Lonnie, second. Okay.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, right. Okay, good. Hilda's not here, so let's move on to food table updates. That would be
Oh.
it.
Gee, that came up awfully
It
fast.
did, didn't it?
7 minutes.
We're moving right along.
So we've had 2 food table markets, whatever you want to call them, and I think that they have been very well attended. I think they've been, in my mind, they've been a success because I think we were all kind of a little apprehensive. The very first one as to, are we going to get 4 people or are we going to get 40? So yeah, we got 50 the first time. We got 60 the second, which is, I believe, if my math is correct, a 16% increase, which is nice. People arrive early, but that's just typical. When the food is ready, we get going with it. I have some things to kind of bring up. One, by the time it hit 11 o'clock last time, and we had quite a few people still here, it was getting really warm in there, Ronnie. And even when Susie Hidalgo Faring came, and she came at about 11, because she came closer to the end than the beginning. Even her glasses were starting to fog up. So can we adjust that air conditioning in the lobby?
Yeah, I can look at that.
Could we get a bunch of people in there and they visit and they sit and,
And they heat up
yeah.
the place.
So yeah, if we could do that. I would like to know who would like to work. I know I will.
Me?
I'll work. John, Eric.
I'll be there.
I will not be there this Saturday.
Okay, so Eric and Bonnie.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Martha wants to be there too? Okay, good. Because we have had somebody who's been the Hispanic, helping the Hispanic people. I think he will be there again, but yeah, it just doesn't hurt to have somebody else there.
So,
You want to do,
yeah.
you want to, oh, well, let's get the,
Yes.
okay.
What?
You like it? It's
Do we
fun.
want that many
Yeah,
people there?
it's fine.
Okay.
And
All right.
I'll check. Go ahead.
So 9:30 is when we need you there because then we start putting the food out. We're going to try and take a picture this time of the food, really nice picture. So I think I brought some pictures of the food last
Robin
time.
wasn't there last time, so how did the distribution go? Did you run out of the better stuff early?
Yes. What happened was we had, they actually came earlier this time, so it was a little bit after 10 that they came with what we would call a second delivery. Okay. And we had a lot of food. We had a lot of food that we didn't have to pay for. So maybe some of you don't know that protein pretty well has to be purchased. The rest of the stuff is bought. So we ended up with lots of meat that was donated. We were able to do 3 separate boxes broken down by beef, chicken, pork. We had milk that was donated. We of course had eggs, which we purchased. So we had 45 dozen, which we will have again this next time. 45 dozen eggs. They get 1 dozen. They get 1 thing. If we only have the 1 thing of meat, they will just get 1. But because we had so much meat, we just allowed them to take a little bit more if they wanted a hamburger and a chicken and a We even had salmon. Lots of bread. We had pastries. I don't know what I did with my pictures. Here's
Lots
a
of
picture.
fruit.
So yeah, I think everybody was pleased. Everybody was pleased. We did have some way early birds, and they decided to walk around and look at the rose garden before, and then come back. But most of the people just sat in the lobby and waited until we got it ready.
And you had someone pass out numbers?
Oh, yes. And this time Naomi brought them so that they were laminated, and we just passed them out. So yeah, that's how we got 60. We also, she wanted us to count so that we could come up with how many people are we actually serving in each of the homes. And that's where we came up with 120 in the different homes. And we had 60 individual households. So we're going to do that again. The number that we hand to them is going to be the household. And then we will just say how many people are in your household. And most of them are one, some of them are two. We had one group that they had been camping, and the bears took all of their food. And so they came through. They were seniors, by the way. They came through. They did get some food. So in that instance, yeah, we had more in their home. But yeah, we had lots of bread, sliced, not sliced. We had pastries. We had lots of salad stuff, which I think we will continue to get, which is really pretty popular. Some individual things. We had soups. We had yogurt. We had cheese packets, little cheese packets that were individually wrapped with little cubes inside them. We did have some milk. We had gallons and half gallons, and they actually took them. It's not stuff that they're going to buy at the store a lot of times. And particularly now with the SNAP cards having some problems. I see the people, the seniors, go through the lines, and they're getting what they absolutely have to have most of the time.
Speaking of SNAP, I listened to NPR this morning, and I think there's something in Colorado. I guess previously SNAP didn't cover prepared or even like rotisserie chickens that were already cooked, and I think they were successful getting an exemption.
Good.
So
Good.
that people can purchase those things.
So if you go to King Supers on Thursday, you could get a rotisserie chicken for $5.
And I think it's Tuesday at Safeway.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hey, $5.
And you could
It's
get a
not bad
bucket
deal.
of chicken on Monday, prepared.
For
and
$5?
everything,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it went up now, it's like 8. I used to get it when it was 5, and then I stopped getting it, just because I didn't eat it.
King Supers on Thursday.
Yeah, and I think Safeway
At least the one on Main,
Monday or
I know.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes, Monday is bucket of chicken at Safeway for like $8, and then
That's like
there's
8
another
pieces.
time that rotisserie chicken
Right.
is also on sale at
Right.
Safeway.
Ann?
We do, just to note, I noticed last time, we have to be careful with the bread and the desserts and maybe some other things, because there was mold on it, so you have to,
And some
You
of
have
the
to go
fruit.
through
and
and
some
check
of the
it.
fruit,
What is it
yeah.
called?
And I didn't notice it, but one of the people coming through said, you better get rid of that. I'm like, oh, okay. But, it's donated food, so.
And some of the produce is a little questionable too. So we
Right.
had a what is it called, compost thing, so that we could put the produce and stuff in
That's what helps.
that we weren't going to put
Bread
out.
and
Yeah.
compost.
Yeah, exactly.
Use back into the garden.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Naomi said she gives that compost to the pig farmer,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and we want to take all those little tags off,
Yeah.
because the pig
The
farmer
compost
won't
can't-
give them to his pigs, yeah.
The pigs don't eat the
And the
tags.
little
Yeah,
tags
they don't
around
eat
the
tags.
fruit.
They get a
Yeah,
they get a little
yes.
particular about
It's on
that.
every fruit.
I'm surprised at that.
So some of
Particular
that
pigs.
compost is used in the gardens.
And I just want to tell you that Naomi does a great job.
Yes.
She's so organized about it. You can tell how often she does this, because she comes in and she knows exactly what she's doing. She sets everything up.
Yes.
She lets us know what we can do, and we just take over and start setting up and stuff. And she's very organized. That Longmont Food Rescue is an excellent organization to be doing this, because they really know what they're doing. And we've had successful 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
Two
now,
times,
right?
Two
yeah.
times.
And
That's
she,
very successful.
yeah, she's going to do it a little bit differently, I think, this time. Not that we're going to do, I think she's going to assign, so if we've got 4 tables, which we'll have, like maybe Eric, this will be your responsibility, She's going to do things maybe just a little bit more organized
Yeah, I
this
think
next
as
time.
we go along, we're
Yeah.
gonna see how we can change things up a little bit to make it a little easier and
Yeah.
a little more
Particularly
organized,
easier for the
things like
people
that.
as they go through the lines, so,
Right.
yeah. But the people are there, the people are coming, and they definitely need the food.
Have you had feedback from people saying?
Yes, you all got
Oh,
the
yeah.
information is in here. I wrote a thing up, and it includes the information of some of the people. They're very, very happy about it.
Yeah,
But
they're very
yes,
thankful.
there's a little blurb in there about comments that people have made. Yeah.
Who from the city council has been there?
First time it was Popkin and
Susie.
Yarborough. And then this last time it was Susie who came in towards the end. She was going to try and be here this next time, but she's not going to be able to. So the council does get a reminder on their calendars, as do city department people. So people are aware of it if they want to come and check it out. Yeah. So I think it's been,
And how is this publicized? I'm sorry, because I've been in, so.
pretty much word of mouth.
Very much.
But I know that if I talk to people, I usually say this is what's going on, because we don't have a way to get them there. They have to have a way to get there. But you know what? They're getting there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so pretty much word of mouth, I think, from the first time we had it. That's where we got the increase the second time. I think I'm thinking we may see more this next time. But it is advertised on,
What's happening?
is
Yeah.
it in the,
It's in the dog,
Yes.
yeah.
yeah.
excellent, and
So
there
it's
are,
local people.
and there are flyers
local
up
people
here, too.
From Longmont.
Yes.
We
You
don't
have to- you
actually,
have to
we don't
show
actually, yeah, we don't
No.
actually ask them where they're from, but yes, pretty much because a lot of them are walking to get here, yeah. Yeah.
and there are flyers around here on the week before the event, just reminding people that on Saturday we'll be doing this.
Also want to make note that there's a request for some donations that people on the advisory board participated in. I want to thank you for that. That helped buy some of the protein that Arlene was describing Naomi has to buy. So that's gone well. And the friends are also excited to hear about what's going on, which is nice to have Arlene represent us at that particular junction too.
Temporarily representative, temporarily.
It says
So-
acting next to your name.
So, based on what John just said about funds, the request has come, and so I need to know from this board, I'm going to throw it out to you. Do we want to do a motion and a request some funds, or a request that the Friends provide some funds towards this food table, purchasing protein? And if we do we want to say we would like to have it meet the donations that have come into Food Rescue, Longmont Food Rescue? Do we want to say we want a certain amount, like 70, 80,000, which is as out of the line? But
We write that number
you
down.
know,
That's a great
how do we
number.
want to do that? Because it is one of our. This is one of the things we're pushing for is food, and it is one of the things that is very concerning nationwide. Yes.
So before the board votes on that, the Friends of the Longmont Senior Center, as a nonprofit, they can't give their donations to another nonprofit. So even though it's supporting
right.
something coming out of the senior center, that is to support the Longmont food share, community food share. So it's
Yeah.
you can't ask them to give money to another nonprofit.
Got it.
But they did the buses.
That's
That's
senior
because it
center.
came
Yeah,
to
but
the
this is
senior
city.
Oh,
That's
okay.
This is
their
going
city
to the
vehicles.
Longmont
Oh,
Food
yeah.
Rescue.
For
So could they give it
services
to us and we
provide.
could give it to, could they give it to the advisory council and we could give it to the, no, probably not.
I can't speak for them, but probably not.
Well, let's
Well, if that's the case,
Okay.
then we may not have protein after a certain point, who knows?
No, we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see how that works. But I want to make one thing clear: is any money that gets donated is specifically for the month for food table at the senior center. It doesn't go anyplace else.
Yeah, right.
So, but we'll see if there's some way to do that.
And she is going to ask for a grant again, which
Right.
would take effect probably in November. So we just have that little gap of time there that we hope.
And in that application process, identifying the additional location, those statistics that you're recording would be great for that
Exactly.
as well. To show how many people this additional location is serving as a result of, to support that increase in funding.
Yeah, I think we could do a second. Yeah.
Ronnie, is it possible for us to have a donation box here at the senior center specifically for the Longmont food share?
We could explore that. We do a few food drives every year, as well for different reasons. It goes to city nonprofits. We could further unpack that. I could have a conversation with our team and go from there.
Okay, thank you.
That's a
Some
nice.
people would be very grateful to get it, and they would be very happy to a donation or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a nice segue. September is Hunger Action Month. It's something that Feeding America does every September. They feed in the United States about 50 million people a year. We've talked before. We talked in front of the city council about food security for seniors and what have you. So I have two questions. One is, could we? Well, I'm going to ask for a motion from the board to ask the city to proclaim September Hunger Action Month, particularly regarding seniors. So I'd like a motion for that first, if people are interested in doing that.
I make a motion that we ask the city council to do a proclamation for the Hunger Awareness Month.
Second.
Martha seconds.
Hunger action or hunger?
Hunger Action.
Okay.
And I'll get everybody a copy of the proclamation before I get to the city council. Thank you. Second thing is, Ronnie, during Hunger Action Month, could we do a food drive here? And Food Rescue would set it up, bring in their bins and whatever, and they have signs for it. But again, that it would just be part of how we can get that food to the food tables on our Saturdays. So would it be possible to have September, have a drive here in the lobby?
Okay. And so, so let's we're working, so this board just voted on that proclamation for city council. Let's see where that goes. If this is something that is approved, then we can look at creating that communication here at the senior center. But again, Longmont Food Rescue or this board, one of the two will have to manage that.
Yes, no impact on the staff except Sean,
Oh, right.
Sean doing the cleanup as usual.
Right.
Okay,
As usual.
and they would come and check the bins and make sure they're get the food wherever they take it.
Right, and
Okay.
so if it is them, we can unpack that
Yeah.
once we get there. But yes, there would need to be that understanding that they have to come pick up the donations and deliver them.
Okay, I'll have the draft proclamation out to everybody by the weekend. If you get a response, we can get to the city council. We need a 3-week lead time.
So along those same lines, if we're going to look towards the future, and this is just something to keep in mind, May is Older Americans Month, which again would give us an opportunity to maybe do another food drive, which would, but it's something to think about for future.
And you said, when is that?
Pardon me?
What month is that?
May. Older Americans
way in
Month.
the future.
Nationally, it's Older Americans Month.
The city council actually did a proclamation that we and the Friends did, asking them to honor older Americans in May, and they gave us 30 days, so it was wonderful. Anything else on?
John, I got a question for you.
Yes.
For that proclamation, does somebody from the board typically speak to the council or
Yes.
in advance of the proclamation is there some dialogue or some?
The city, the last time we did this, we submitted it, we asked it to be given to the council in a certain meeting. Karen Roney and myself were there representing the two
Okay.
organizations, and we spoke briefly about it, and then there was an exchange, and they honored that request. So, and love to have anybody from the board be there for that meeting. We'll know in advance which meeting that is.
Could they take your picture?
Yes.
Right? Yeah,
Yes.
they take your
Yes,
picture.
they
With the
do.
full council.
With all of the council,
Yes, they do.
yeah.
So the more people, the better.
It's a nice little thing, yeah.
Yes. Anything else?
Can I say something
Lonnie?
real quick? I meant to mention this at the beginning of the meeting. I know last month the meeting went longer, and it was because of a scheduling error, not an error, but a scheduling change. We had 2 people for 2 months, and one of the people hopped into another month because of their availability. So we did have 3 people on the schedule last month. We do not intend to do that again. We're aware of the fact that this should be kept to 2 hours, and we will do everything we can to do that. But just last month was a fluke. It just happened that 3 people could be there. We did want them here to speak, so that's why it went over. But that's not gonna be a regular thing, and we're aware of the fact that we're gonna try very hard to keep it to 2 hours. And that's it, okay? I just wanted to mention that.
John, did you say there was I missed that, did you say there was something we should be doing for this proclamation?
No, I'll get a draft of it out to everybody over the
Okay.
weekend.
So we-
Take a look at it, make any additions you want. We can submit it to the city. They require 3 weeks' notice in advance of, so you'll have
Okay,
everything.
thank you.
You'll have that from me this weekend. Anything else?
Maybe we
We'll
could
just look pretty and show
donation
up.
box in the city council.
Elder exchange.
How about, can I say something? How about we go ahead and have,
Well, I was also just wanting to watch the Elder Exchange video because I put it together.
oh, okay, all right,
So
perfect.
Ronnie said I can come in for that too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're always welcome otherwise, anytime you want to attend these meetings.
I appreciate that.
I'm sorry.
Alright, as Kaylee mentioned, she put an amazing PowerPoint together for us. And so while I'm setting this up, John, if you want to just kind of kick it off.
What's that?
You want to kick it off?
Well, we talked about this at the Friends meeting because there was some representation from the Friends board also. And we went around and asked people what their experience was as briefly as possible. And one of the board members said it was life-changing. And that sounds like a lot, but it really was. To be in that environment, first of all, it's really beautiful. And be with people who are so giving and so generous, it was extraordinary. And the thing I noticed most is when I came back, I noticed how loud it was around me and how fast things were moving. It's not loud, it's not fast on the reservation in that area. So that kind of experience was pretty life-altering. I don't think we had a chance to have things that quiet, so you don't notice the noise, but it was pretty interesting. Eric, you were there?
No one got trampled by a buffalo.
We were concerned about that because they were eyeing us as we approached the limits of their pasture. This one huge guy puts his head up and is like, okay, we're done walking. We're not getting any closer. He didn't move. He just looked and said, in Buffalo, of course.
It was quite remarkable, and sort of spiritually enlightening, especially when at the end we got to dance at the powwow, and we were invited guests. And I had one of the guys who I'd met earlier that day come up to me after I had done the dance, and not knowing anything about the dances that were going on, and sort of shuffled and kicked dust through the whole entire dance. He came up to me and said, "Eric, you look like the Tin Man who hadn't been oiled." So it was quite amazing, quite wonderful. And I got to know a lot of the people who were here much better, and that was great too.
Good.
Thank you.
And Eric took it upon himself to make sure that I kept everybody safe as the driver,
Did you get your notes done?
and gave me
Not yet. I'm still working on it.
any corrective feedback he felt necessary and recommendations to improve my driving skills.
Over and over and over again.
Somebody had to do it.
So thank you, Kaylee, for putting this video together, and John and Eric kind of sharing your experiences and your takeaways. You know, this really was a cool, not just a great opportunity for us to expand our relationship with our sister city, Northern Arapahoe on the Wind River Reservation, but an opportunity to really create an opportunity for enrichment for our participants. So making those connections, building those connections, but expanding them by going to the reservation, spending time, learning with our elders, right? Those who we were able to develop those connections with. So day one, so day one we headed down to the reservation. It was about a 6-hour drive. When we got there, we were met with a reception. Oh, sorry.
Oh, look who's waiting.
So, these are photos from both of our
So
buses.
subtle.
This is the safe bus, and this was the fun bus over here.
You have to turn the
Oh.
volume on. Yeah.
Wow.
That does look fun.
This was the driver filming, by the way, so they weren't very safe.
They had no Eric.
So, they didn't have Eric on that bus. But just really capturing, again, the excitement and energy heading down to the reservation. When we got there, we arrived at the Wind River Casino. And as mentioned, when we got there immediately, we jumped into our reception. We got to spend about 15 minutes with their leadership. Our drive took a little bit longer than we anticipated. It was very, very windy. The drive was very, very windy, so we had to drive much slower because those nice big vans that we just purchased, they catch all the wind. So that thing was getting pushed all over the road. So we went much slower than we needed. I mean, just for safety, than you know the speed limit allowed. But we got there safely. Again, 15 minutes with their leadership, and when we got there, there we go. We presented their council, their business council leadership, with a gift from the Friends of Longmont Senior Center and Advisory Board. That's the basket that he's holding, along with a quilt that our quilting group put together. It's the Northern Arapahoe flag and the Longmont flag, representing our two communities coming together. And so they worked on that since March, when our elders came down to spend time with us here in Longmont. They got their feedback just to say, hey, this is what we're thinking. They had some kind of drawn up items to say, hey, this is what we're thinking. What are your thoughts? Took that feedback and was able to make this beautiful quilt.
That's nice.
That is.
When we got there, we were able to see some familiar faces. This is Lyle. He came down here in March, spent some time with us.
Mhm.
He's got his Longmont hat on. I appreciate that.
Who's the other guy?
So his so the hat he's wearing, I was wearing at the time when they came down for the exchange, and the hat I'm wearing was his hat. It's a Wyoming hat, and I complimented him on his hat. I said, hey, that's a very nice hat. I like your hat. He's like, I like your hat. He took his hat off and gave it to me, and I took mine off, gave it to him.
Your own exchange.
And here we are wearing each other's our gifted hats to each other. When we got there, we were able to play some bingo. So we were met with the dinner. We got to have dinner with everybody. The whole community comes together for bingo. So the reservation comes together to play bingo at the casino, and they just the prizes are prize items like. What did we see? We saw box fans, we saw air conditioners, we saw bins of food, kitchen items, and our group did pretty well.
Yeah.
I honestly think we won like 50% of the prizes.
We did.
And
They're thinking about not having us come back because we won so many prizes.
And so, you know, just we had a lot of great pictures. A lot of great pictures, just really capturing how much fun we were having and enjoying each other's company. There's John with his box fan that he won, which he donated, he gave away. Does that want to go?
Are you clicking the arrows?
Yeah. There it goes.
picture.
You want to represent me for me too. Just escape.
It's not letting me do that
Did
either.
you do the down arrow?
Not let me escape either.
Something's wrong with your computer.
Yeah, something's wrong with the computer. Of course, something's wrong with the computer.
Can you open it in PowerPoint?
I'd have to download it. Oh, there it goes. There we go. There we go.
Oh,
I'm assuming these are
Wow.
Kaylee's
Beautiful.
photos, correct?
Some of them are.
Kaylee took a very good job. Did a very good job taking a lot of photos, just capturing the scenery, the interactions, and to me, again, just the pictures that Kaylee take, they're just a work of art. You know, these are things that, yes, we notice, and like how, you know, being there, being present, but just the way she captures everything is just, it's almost looks better in the photos than it did in person. You know, our first night there, the sun was setting. We had a group of what, probably 6 or 7 of you that ran out there just to see the sunset and take some photos, and just the way Kaylee captured this is just incredible. This is one of my favorite pictures I think I've ever seen, Kaylee, like no joke. The one in the middle, I think what's so special about that one is just nobody knew she's taking this photo, but just look at the way everybody's interacting with each other. You know, if you are able to see much closer, just the smiles, the conversation, everybody's deep in conversation, the way she was able to capture that along with that beautiful landscape in the background, that sunset. It's a really, really great photo, and I'm just glad we're able to share this with you.
I like the one down here.
Everybody just really enjoying. This is just day one. We haven't even done anything yet. Look at all the smiles everywhere.
Well, you played bingo.
How much fun we did. We
Yeah,
played
Yeah.
and we won.
You want a box plan?
This is the next morning. Everybody heading down for breakfast. Working for me. Working for me.
So Ronnie, I have a question.
Yeah.
My understanding is that the youth were there at the same time. Did you guys interact with them at all in any way?
We
Or-
did. We were able to spend some time together at the same places. There we go. So I'm going to move this into present mode again. Let's try that again. We were able to spend some time together in the same places, same locations. So it's like we were together, but we were separate at the same
Yeah.
time, if that makes sense. We had the same location. There were some good time opportunities to engage with the youth, but at the same time, they kind of did their own thing and we did our own thing. So day 2, we went to the Arapahoe Ranch. There at the Arapahoe Ranch, a lot of community members, not those directly involved in the Elder Exchange. In the Elder Exchange, we're put together a lunch. Go ahead and come up here, Bianca. I don't know what you're saying. You can see it.
I'm not talking to you.
Put a lunch together. There's a team of like roughly 15 people. Just cooked a meal for us. We also went to the hot springs in Demopolis and had a nice dinner back at the casino.
Good picture.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very sweet picture.
Oh my gosh. Let's try this.
I think you need to open it in the actual PowerPoint app instead of online.
I think I need to download it then.
No, well, I sent it to you in a email. You should be able to open it from the email.
This is from the email.
Oh, weird.
Let's do this. Let's try this. I'm gonna try this real quick to see if it works faster. And I wonder if it's.
I don't think that's gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
But if you go back into where you were at and then where it says editing, click that down up here. And then present from here.
And while we're going through each day, John, Eric, Bianca, Kaylee, if you want to add anything, feel free just to jump in.
How are the hot springs?
Hot.
Now you
Sulfur Springs, it was wonderful, actually.
There we go. That's beautiful.
I don't know how far
No,
down you are.
perfect. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. And where are we at? John and his prizes. So how are the hot springs? As one of the kiddos said at the end of the trip, he said, you know, that was my favorite thing. The hot springs were my favorite, but it smelled like eggs.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just beautiful scenery all the way around, just exploring the reservation.
Mhm.
Here's us at Arapahoe Ranch. At the ranch, they kind of, let me see if I'm gonna come back. They have a mansion on the ranch. Does anybody remember how many acres that ranch is?
200,000.
200,000 acres.
200,000?
And so there's a small staff they have to kind of keep, or just maintenance the building itself. They're doing a lot of renovations. They're trying to keep it or update it. You know, the hope is to be able to use that as a location for rentals, for events, for trips. So that just helps the tribe, helps generate some revenue. They gave us the kind of historical background of the ranch. It used to be owned by a non-native. When that person passed, the government asked if the tribe wanted to buy it, which they agreed, they did. A lot of, at that time of the purchase, how many years ago was that? Does anyone remember?
1941, I believe.
41. And there was a lot of homes, a lot of them are still in place. Little homes around this building right here, around the mansion, where families lived, and they lived on site, right? They took care of the ranch, the families lived there. The kiddos traveled to school. They mentioned how the school bus came and picked the kiddos up from the ranch, and they would take them to school. And what do you say their class was of, like 5 people?
Probably.
Right, 5 or less?
Yeah.
Here's some pictures inside the mansion. They still have a rotary phone in there. How cool is that?
Yeah, really.
That's one of the things
Does
we were
it
talking
work?
to the youth about. We were teaching them about what rotary phones were.
But inside, just how beautiful everything is inside, just the architecture, just the way they were able to preserve and maintain its classic look and style. He's given, here we are just receiving that information. He's given us, and I apologize, I forgot his name. Giving us a presentation again on that history lesson of the Arapahoe Ranch. All of us just hanging out.
Mhm.
There's a lot to see and do.
It's beautiful.
This is the largest Indian reservation in the country. 2.2 million acres.
Okay, you want to talk about this one?
So when the staff provided us with lunch, it was like a potluck. It was really good, like all the salads on the side and everything too. Hamburgers, hot dogs, barbecue. They allowed us to have this little picnic area that was shaded. But for the most part, a lot of us just kind of scattered around where we wanted to sit. A lot of the younger crew, they sat inside this smaller barn and were eating in there. Now you can see we were sitting on the side of a barn right there. Just kind of did a little impromptu picnic.
But that's all the staff at the
Yeah.
ranch.
At the end, I was able to get a picture of all of the staff once we were leaving.
They did say the issue they're having with, finding individuals to help with the maintenance, keep up with the building itself, with the house itself, is they're kind of aging out of that role, and they're having trouble finding the younger, generating the interest in the younger group to say, hey, this is not only this is the history to understand and see the value, but here's the work that comes with it. And, they did express we're having trouble developing those skills with the younger group, and it's just blaming technology. Like it's harder to develop those skills, right? That type of work ethic at this point in their lives.
So do most of the younger people leave the reservation, or do they stay?
Yes and no. There's no data statistics, but yes
Yeah.
and no.
That would determine the workload, I guess.
This is just pictures from Thermopolis. Eric and I had a chance to walk around and check everything out, and there's just a lot to see.
Mm-hmm.
These are great pictures that we took, but I'm not a photographer like Kaylee. These pictures don't really do justice to really what we were seeing and experiencing in the moment. Just beauty. It was just everything that we were, and we walked for about an hour.
An hour.
Yeah, an hour. And just everything, the different landscapes, the different textures.
Mhm.
It was just incredible. That night we made it back to the casino for dinner. Fantastic. It was buffalo.
Buffalo.
We had
Yeah.
buffalo for dinner.
Mhm.
We have our veggies. You can see we've got our greens in there still. But just the food was incredible. It was a really, really delicious meal. The gravy, I can't remember what the gravy was.
Choke cherry.
Choke cherry.
It was choke cherry.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Choke cherry gravy.
Get hungry.
There's George being silly as always.
Yes.
I like that. Cheeky.
And just beautiful pictures.
Yeah, nice. Very nice.
Is there a medical facility on the reservation?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
there is. And correct me if I'm wrong, Kaylee or Bianca, if you noticed, I think it was right outside of, opposite side of the Equity Senior Center, in front of that building that we went in that had that gymnasium. I think it's in front of there.
Okay.
Y'all remember?
Mhm.
I think that's right.
Yeah, and and really it's more of a,
Clinic.
what are those, like a clinic
Thank you.
module?
They do a lot of, they're telling us, because Bianca and I rode on the Tribes bus quite a bit, they're telling us that they do a lot of home care versus in like hospital care as much.
Mhm.
So some of the people on that bus had adult children that were nurses or otherwise working in home care settings, so going out to people's homes and
Mm-hmm.
doing healthcare.
Do they have medical professionals come in from other areas or?
They have to travel out a couple of hours.
Wow. So if you had a real emergency, 2
Yeah.
hours, huh?
Here to look.
They do have a dialysis facility that was pointed out to me.
Oh.
So that's good.
Okay.
Like right on the reservation.
Ronnie, how big is the reservation? How many people?
Oh, I think there's about 10,000 Arapaho, 5,000 Shoshone that live
Wow.
together on the reservation on 2.5 million acres. It's spread out pretty much.
The next day, day 3, we were able to go to Buffalo Ranch, have lunch at their senior center, the Yellow Calf Senior Center in Ethity. We had a presentation from Fish and Game to kind of really talk about the wildlife and just the reservation, and that was at Sings Canyon. Our buses, we named our
Lucy and
recreation team
Lucy
named
and Ethel,
them.
yes.
Bethel?
Yeah.
Lucy and Ethel.
I love it.
And the safe one was Ethel, and the party bus was Lucy. John, deep in thought, thinking in the bottom left corner of what he's gonna come back and present here at this meeting.
Actually, I was watching the buffalo go across the top of the mountain, and it's just beautiful. I mean,
You see see.
Anybody's seen westerns and seen buffalo, it's just incredible to see these pictures there.
And so at the Buffalo
What?
Ranch, we had somebody the caretaker who takes care of all the buffalo, just kind of talk to us about what it's like, how many buffalo we have. Does anyone remember how many buffalo?
It was only about 90. And he
And
said that they harvest about 4 or 5 a year.
As part of our food exploration, we ended up talking to a fellow up at the Rocky Boys reservation up in Montana, and they introduced bison to the tribe about 5 years ago, and the reaction was nobody liked the taste of bison. They hadn't had it in centuries, but they began to grow a larger and larger herd, and it's become part of their food sustainability is to actually get back to what they ate 150 years ago. That's part of one of their objectives.
John, do they have enough bison where they could actually export it, to other?
They're working on that, and they're actually working with a group here in Boulder that has herds, and there's a pretty widespread organization that does work with Buffalo Initiative to get food to various tribes that want to get back to that kind of sustainability. So it's a growing focus
Yeah, they
across the
mentioned
country.
that they, what did they say? That there's a lot of interest in it, but they just don't have enough buffalo to do it.
Okay.
And the other thing they said is even if they get buffalo, the issue becomes being able to fence them in. The buffalo is relatively inexpensive. It's the fencing that prohibits larger herds from being given to tribes. Somebody said they got donated 100 head, but the fencing cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars to do. So it's a catch-22. We want the buffalo, but we can't afford to fence them in.
our presenter shared a story with us about how the buffalo got out in the middle of the night one night, and it was like 2-3 in the morning. He had to go get them and have them come back home. And he said they were down the street, but he says that they're like little kids. He said as soon as they heard my voice, they knew
They were in
knew
trouble.
what they had to do. They knew what they did was wrong. He told them to go back, and he's like, they just turned around and walked back. So, what I learned in that in that presentation is just how friendly they really are. Like we don't really know that, right? I don't know that. I don't interact with them, but he said, they're really, really friendly. He said that he can, in the middle of the herd, he can just go stand in the middle and have nothing to worry about. He would be untouched. And somebody asked, well, how come we always see the videos of them charging people? And he's like, because that's a Yellowstone. Like those are idiots.
That's a quote.
Yeah, you just put that in the minutes. And and he said, the reason why they attack too is they're moving somewhere. They're on a path somewhere, and these people just get in their way and divert them or get them off their path, and that's why they get angry or upset.
A lot different than we do.
Just kind of a breakdown on how they utilize the buffalo. And there's no part that is not used for something. Everything has a purpose. This is at the EDD Senior Center.
Oh, that's
So their
nice.
senior center is about the size of our lobby. Where our front desk would be, or let's say where our patio is, they have a kitchen in that space. So the senior center as a whole is the size of our lobby. Where room B would be restrooms. And then where we have the patio is they have a full-size kitchen back there. And so they also provide meals, lunch every day outside of their senior center for their seniors. It looked like they do deliveries as well. They have pictures on their wall. That's what we're seeing over here on the right side. Pictures of all their elders who have passed. And they keep their pictures on the wall just to preserve their memory. And just to make sure nobody's forgotten, which I think is really, really cool. important. This is outside of the senior center. It's all of our participants and staff. This is us at Sinks Canyon, where
No, this isn't Sinks Canyon.
yeah,
This is Wind River Canyon.
Wind River Canyon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was up. Remember we went up way north and then went way south.
That's right. Anybody want to share their takeaway from this presentation?
It was interesting that if you go back one slide, the fellow in the center is the, I guess, basically the game warden for this area. Yellowstone is about 80 miles away. He has a staff of 7, and Yellowstone has a staff of 160. They have brought back this area that had been herds of horses had done damage to the area. They culled the horses, dispersed them around the country, actually around the world, to send some to Russia and wherever. But they've done things that have not been done anywhere else in the country, and this Wind River area is being looked at by other conservation groups because of things they've been able to replenish in the flora and fauna by taking some of the steps they've had. It's one of the most beautiful areas I've ever seen. But they talk about Yellowstone gets all the attention. They do all the work. And I think idiots came up again at some point in the conversation. But very proud of the work they do here. They found archaeological evidence dating back a number of years, and we asked, will you open that to the public? He said, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we want to preserve what we can here. We know where it is, and that's good enough for us. Pretty impressive man and his group.
The one picture on the left in the blue shirt, that is Joshua George standing next to Eric and I. He was the elders bus driver, so they had their own a third bus, and he was the one who drove them everywhere. So we got to spend a lot of time with Josh and get to know him. The top right picture, the person second in the gray shirt, that's Lee Spoon Hunter, and Lee is he was on their, when we started this work, he was on their business council, and now he is the director of basically senior services and their youth services. So he oversees both programs. Josh bottom. John top right again, still deep in thought.
There's quite a few of those pictures.
I'm watching the rocks grow. It was pretty impressive. Slow but beautiful.
That's a good picture.
What is that river? Is that a river?
Yeah, it's
Bottom
Wind River.
left, great picture of Kaylee and Bianca, just enjoying the view. What a beautiful view that was.
Mhm.
Right? This is not the same location. So people are in the water. They didn't climb down in the bottom in the water. This is a different location. Here we came to. I'm sorry, getting all my locations mixed up all of a sudden.
So that's
This is
Sinks Canyon, thank you. This was what, maybe 30 minutes away from the casino and off the reservation, and in a neighboring town, and we were met there with again another barbecue, so more burgers and just a lot of new people. So the way it is designed is, yes, we have our senior participants. Let me go back there. Yes, we have our senior participants. It's open up to their whole community, and so we have a lot of individuals who are, have their regular work day, and if they're able to attend the dinners, they come. So everybody's welcome. So we saw a lot. Every single dinner meal we've had, an opportunity to engage and meet new people from the reservation, which was really, really cool. I'm going to unpack this real quick. Top left picture, we have Pina from our Friends Board. She was, every meal an elder gives the blessing. She was asked by their elders to give the blessing for this meal. she gave the blessing in her native language, in Spanish. And Jenny, next to her is her daughter. Jenny is from a children, youth, and family, and was able to translate for everybody. And Pina got really emotional and just, really sharing from her heart what this experience means to her and how important these relationships are to her. And as she was getting emotional, there was thunder. And right after that, followed by raindrops. It started sprinkling, and then it started raining. When we were done as soon as she was done with the prayer, Josh, I mentioned Joshua George, their bus driver, was standing next to me. He said, "Hey, that thunder, you know what that means?" I said, "No." He said, "That means her prayer is strong."
Oh.
"Do you know what the raindrops mean right after it?" I said, "No." He said, "Those are tears of happiness and joy." And, that gave me chills. It still gives me chills sharing that with you all. So sharing that with Pina, she got really emotional hearing that. Right? Again, everything has meaning. And right after that was that rainbow you see right there. And so, again, everything
It was
happens.
within like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like really.
Everything is intentional. Everything happens for a reason. Every trip I have made, and even when we hosted our elders here in town, those connections of signs all around us that have been brought to my attention, whether it be the rainbows, whether it be eagles flying by, all these different things, which is just really incredible to learn, right? We ate well. We were fed very well. Every meal. Just as our exchange here. A lot of good food everywhere. Anybody want to talk about?
Rainbow and brown.
Bianca should talk about this.
Huh?
About the great phone rescue.
Oh, phone rescue. Well, first, the fish there. I'm not sure if you've seen the little one in there. Kalani, she's one of our. She is the female in the top left picture. In the middle, her daughter. She came along with us on the whole tour. I pretty much followed her everywhere. And she was telling us about the trout there. We were able to see that along the rim of the sand that they were laying their eggs in there. And she pointed that out to us. She's only about 9 years old. So it was really cute. She does a lot of fishing and hunting, and she showed us some pictures. So it was a beautiful area, and just to see them so close. Yes, somebody dropped their phone.
And we were able to feed them, so they have food that you could drop down there. It was really cool, just kind of, because we were pretty high up.
Yeah,
We were
you could do like one little piece of kibble, and then they'd all kind of swarm towards it.
That was really cool, just to feed them and just see their response. Back at the senior center. More food. Very well. Very well. So the next day we were able to kind of spend time at just exploring the reservation. We spent some time at the senior center. We went to the trading post, which is a really big store that they have there. We're talking jewelry, shirt, everything. It's also a museum. They have some pieces of artwork throughout that store as well that just are not for sale. But just went to the trading post. We got a chance to spend more time at the senior center, and then we went to the powwow. This is us at that store I was telling you about. More good food. Sherry Blackburn, top left picture, top left corner, gifted Pina with a shawl, just to thank her for her friendship, and just for the time that they've spent together. The bottom center, just kind of again from the heart sharing what this means to him, how thankful for he is for our two communities coming together, the impact it's had on him, on the community, on our elders, on our youth, right? And he's been a big component in making not just our elder exchange possible, but again bringing our two communities together. He's been part of these conversations from the very beginning. And he's always in the background, right? He's not front and center. He's just floating around everywhere. But if you catch him and talk to him and you ask him questions, he'll tell you about everything. You know what it's taken to get us to this point. This is us at the powwow. We did a food drive. All of our participants, we pulled some food together to take up to the reservation, and they were able to create a food table for their elders. And so this is Hilda and Jackie White distributing the food to the elders. Pictures of the powwow. Anybody want to explain the honor song? Give someone else a chance to talk. Okay. So the honor song. How do I explain this? So it's a giant circle, okay? And if you're out there dancing, that giant dirt circle, that's just for whoever's dancing. Everybody else, the spectators, are on the outside of that circle. For the honor song, we were asked, the city of Longmont, our elders, all participants of the elder exchange from both communities, to come out and for the honor song. And what they did is they started off with Lee really again talking about the importance of this work of our two communities coming together. Again, what it means to the community, and just how do I explain that? Help me out, John. How do I explain that?
Well, they really want to have the opportunity for a group, in this case everyone from Longmont, to go around the circle and basically dance, and to be acknowledged by the people on the outside of the circle, as an elder, as a visitor, and what have you. Could you go back one slide, Ronnie?
Yeah.
In this particular one here, the respect that the Arapaho have for those Arapaho who were served in the armed services. They led part of the procedure. Everything starts with bringing out the flags, their flags, and also flags of the United States. And we visited that trading post. There's a memorial across the street. And Derek and I were across the street looking at it, and I was struck by, as a vet, the demands that the Army made on all people in the services, but specifically the contribution the Native Americans made, given how they were treated by the United States Army, that they respect and love this country so deeply that they've sacrificed. At one point, I believe they had the highest rate of soldiers enlisting was the Native Americans. So this picture here in the center, they're going through and talking about the vets. The next one, they do an honor song for visitors and whatever. That's when they asked us all to come out. And we walked around the circle, and people on the outside were making eye contact, and later walked up, and we stood in the line, and they came by, almost a reception line, thanking us for being here, thanking us for our participation, and welcoming us. I've never felt more welcomed and more engaged with a group ever so quickly. It's like, honestly, it's like being part of a family in a minute.
That it was just so overwhelming, right? With love and happiness, and that's what I was asking. Like, can you help me with that? Explain that, right? As John mentioned, as they're drumming and singing, we're making our way on the outside of that circle, and as we're moving through that circle, those spectators, those who are sitting on the outside of the circle, as we get close to them, they're all standing up. So by the time we make our way all the way around, everybody's standing up to really welcome us and welcome us. And everybody coming off and going back to our seats from there, again, a lot of emotion, a lot of tears, a lot of hugs. It's hard to explain, right? Anybody else want to explain their experience?
It's a generosity of spirit that was pretty impressive.
And it went all night. As Eric had mentioned, all the dust everywhere, right? By the time that sun starts going down, we're getting more and more people dancing, and a lot of dust everywhere.
Can you go back to that slide just for one quick story? This picture is Bianca.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Bianca, as she said, she spent a lot of time with the kids, and the elders as well, but special connection with the kids. And the kids were jingle dancers. And so they had these little jingles on their dresses. And Hernan, one of the youth workers, actually explained what the jingle dresses are to us. But before he did that, the girls really wanted Bianca to go out and dance with them. And they have a closet there that, like, if you don't have a dress to wear, you can go and check out a dress. So Trisha and Mavis walked Bianca over there, and we put her in a dress, and she went out there and danced with them. And then Hernan told us the story of the jingle dress, which very quickly is that there was this young girl, correct me if I'm wrong too, Bianca, who was sick, and in order to be able to gain her strength back, she started dancing, and they put one little jingle on her dress. And as she was able to get strong enough to dance with that one jingle, they added another jingle, and they kept going and going and going until she was strong enough and would continue to dance with all the jingles. And I'm emotional about it because it's a lot. But now when they do the jingle dancing, they are doing it to heal somebody else, which I think is really amazing that Bianca was asked to go out and do that.
And what we also learned is when they're dancing and when they put their hands out, what are they doing, Bianca?
Oh, they're healing. So as they dance around you, they're healing.
So when their hands come out, they're blessing
Yes,
everybody
blessing
around them.
and healing the crowd around. So we got to see that again last week. Some of the Sister City kids came out with their benefits, so that was nice.
Thank you both for sharing that.
Thank you, Kaylee.
And the last day, heading back home. I know that you put impromptu fried chicken lunch at the park. So there was miscommunication with our lunch, which is okay. We loaded up, headed back, and we had to stop off at King Supers and a city market out there and get some items. A small team came together, led by Kaylee and Brandy, and we were able to organize a lunch for us. And so we pulled over at the park, the top right corner, under a tree, and had some lunch. And before you knew it, everybody's sleeping. Everybody's sleeping.
And George was our window cleaner.
There he is in the bottom left. And just what an incredible experience all the way through. And
You can keep clicking through for the rest of the pictures. It'll just start dropping them.
look at that, how beautiful. So many friendships made. That's a great picture.
Thank you,
That
Kaylee.
was good.
That's beautiful.
Fabulous presentation.
Yes,
Yeah.
excellent.
Really good.
Has city council seen this?
Not yet.
It'd be good idea for them to see it. What the senior center is
Are
able
you
to
planning
do.
on that?
You know,
So, we are, it's not on the agenda. We don't have a scheduled time to go present at city council. But, you know, so who is aware, right? Mayor Peck, Councilmember Yarbrough, Councilmember Hidalgo Faring, they've been a part of this work from the very beginning. I saw them on Saturday, updated all of them on the elder piece, the elder exchange. I was able to share with them at city council, you know, the first part of the exchange in March when we did our annual presentation, but not able to whole group share this piece of the exchange. So it's out there, yes. Everybody knows what we're doing.
Did you send this to all of them,
To the board?
to the city council?
No, Kaylee
I just finished it
just made
yesterday.
it, yeah. It was just made. There we go.
Are you thinking of doing that?
So, yeah. Is there enough hours in the day? No. Is it up? Yeah. So yeah, of course we're going to communicate this out. What I can share that we have done, and I have done already, is I've met with this. Again, this is just what an incredible opportunity and experience. I have met with a reporter from the Colorado Sun, who the Colorado Sun is doing an Aging in Colorado series, and so this would be perfect to add in there. And so he came down last week and interviewed 3 of our participants, John, Karen Higgins,
Yeah.
and Pina.
Karen Rooney.
Sorry.
I know, I get confused.
All the Karens. And spent time with probably about 45 minutes with each of them. Brought a photographer, took them outside to the Rose Garden, to the park, took pictures of each person. Like he's being very intentional with the story. He said he wants to capture it correctly and share it out with the state. It's like everybody should be aware of this. And so that was last Wednesday, and I met with him by phone yesterday again. He has some follow-up questions. He's very excited about what he has already, because I just need a few more pieces of information. He has a time and date scheduled to meet with Ray and Carmen Ramirez to talk about the history of getting us to this point. And who am I missing? And Lee Spoon Hunter as well from the reservation. So he's almost there, and once that article is complete, and I'll share it out with the whole group, I'll send everybody the link and that information. I also have an interview scheduled Wednesday with the Times Call to talk about this as well, and give that out to the community. So I'm missing something else. What else am I missing? Oh, and I think I sent you all the link of the video that Longmont Public Media put together on behalf of the city for the exchange. And so that's it. So there's a lot of communication around it right now. That went on City's Facebook as well, correct, Bianca? Facebook, and they said Facebook and Instagram, that video. Yeah. So there's a lot of communication and more to be done. We're working on a couple other things too. So there's an opportunity to still present at the City Council, yeah.
I think what's important to recognize is there's just little things that are happening, but it brings focus to the senior center. It brings focus to the impact we have on seniors in our community, whether it's this event or the event in November when they did how many people we had last year participating? Several
Registered
hundred?
300, and I'm gonna say close to 500 people were in attendance. So it wasn't, we encouraged registration from from CYF and Senior Services, but you did not have to register to attend. So we had 300 who registered, but this place was rocking the entire time from 10 a.m. to, 3 p.m. So, I'd say close to 500 people.
Yeah, and it speaks to, again, what the senior center does in the community, the food table, bringing more and more people here to know that we're here, And I think that's really going to be interesting. Next year, 2026, marks the jubilee of the senior center, 50 years of being here. So there's some things in the works there, because has anybody here seen the new Matlock? It's a new series with Kathy Bates.
Oh, right.
In the first 5 minutes of the thing, she says, I'm a woman, I'm 75, I'm invisible.
Yep.
That's got to stop. So I think we're creating some visibility here that speaks well to all the things that the senior center and all staff does for us. It goes noticed by people that are here, but the senior population of the city is growing, so we need to get more outreach programs happening. And this is just one that gets that kind of recognition.
I just want to say, obviously, this was very emotional for everybody who went to it and experienced it.
Yeah.
And I could tell from each one of you that it impacted you in a certain way and stuff. And it really is fantastic that this program is going on like this and will continue. You know, what's going to happen next year and stuff. So it really was, I could feel it from all of you guys, what you were experiencing. And the presentation was fantastic.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was such beautiful pictures. You did such a good job putting it all together.
Well,
So-
luckily, lots of people took lots of good pictures, and Jenny from the youth center decided to invite us all to share our pictures. So we have a shared drive that all of the pictures are in.
So
Nice.
what's really cool about that at each location and some of the same events, but seeing those pictures from different perspectives.
That was my
Right?
favorite part.
Really cool. Really cool.
What people chose to focus on and
Yeah.
memorialize in a photo.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Have you considered doing a loop like in the lobby?
Want to put it out
Would
there?
be-
Just have
yeah. I didn't know if I was just, I'm so overwhelmed by seeing it and stuff. I just want everybody to see it. So
So
I'm
Longmont,
probably making suggestions you're already thinking about. But
and we did invite Longmont Public Media and our city comms team, a few of our city comms teams members to come down with us too. So they helped take video, pictures, and did some interviews when we hosted here in town in March. And they came up with us to the reservation as well to take
They
more
did
video
go up there,
pictures. Yeah. And so what they're working on right now is a video to really capture this exchange from start to finish, and to roll it out to the community, display that video to the community, obviously to City Council right before. But for the Native American Heritage Month celebration that we'll be hosting here in November, so showing that video to the community.
excellent.
Very cool, because they also got permission to film some things that they would not have been able legally to film, like the buffalo herd, and they dropped like a camera into the sinks to see the fish, and lots of cool stuff that they were given permission by the tribe to film.
And the powwow, right?
Powwow.
They were able to do send a drone to get that aerial
Oh,
view
neat.
above too, and that's thanks to Lee Spoonhunter, right? He really did a lot of work to make sure that we have these permissions to really again gather the video and the video to share this with everybody. So like Katie mentioned, like that's not standard, and Lee did a lot to allow us to just really share this with both communities. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for that. I mean, it's amazing what the group of people here do to participate in our community. So,
Right, and all this started with just Ray Ramirez after one of the Friends Board meeting, when I first started, saying, hey, what are your thoughts about doing an Elder exchange? I said, come see me tomorrow, let's talk about it, right? And that's all it started with just Ray Ramirez just asking that question, what are your thoughts about doing an Elder exchange? And here we are,
And look at how far you've come with
3
it.
years later, and it's not me, it's just that idea that I love. It's like, oh yeah, let's figure this out. How do we do this? And that's when they invited me to the reservation to with Mayor Peck and Councilmember Hidalgo Faring and Yarborough to meet their leadership, just to introduce the idea. And they said, here we are. So,
Longmont Museum has on Thursdays or programs that they show, concerts, whatever. This will be really ideal for one of
Oh, good
Longmont
idea.
at the museum to show an exhibit and, for tickets for, for the event, for people to come and actually see what happened. It would be great, and I'm pretty sure people would be open to come and pay the fee, whatever, to talk to the museum and see when it could be scheduled.
That's a great idea.
Yep.
That's a great idea. All right, anything else? Any more new business to discuss?
No.
Lenny?
Well, I don't know if it's new business, let me look at the agenda again. I just wanted to say, we haven't done a lot in outreach yet, but we're looking into kind of jump-starting that again, to get that going again. When we did meet with Guillermo, right?
Yeah.
He said that we should put a map of the city in the lobby and have people put pins in it where they live and where they know other seniors live, so that we can get an idea from the people here who attend the senior center where, where in the city there are groups of seniors, what areas we could focus on. So we're gonna be doing that. You did say something about you thought there might be something that's already been done and that would save us time.
So there's an opportunity for us to not reinvent the wheel. So that game plan would take a whole year of data collection
Okay.
to really identify what areas we need to do outreach in our community. And so I'm exploring two options right now. And Lonnie put that back on my radar to follow up, like, hey, have you heard anything? I was like, you're right, I haven't. Let me reach back out. But I have, we're unpacking that, and I have an additional way to collect more information. And so once I know that is an avenue to explore, I'll come back to the board and let you know. There's an opportunity for us to gather this information sooner rather than later, so we can begin that outreach.
Excellent. Okay.
Anything else?
Can I bring up this?
Go for it.
Okay. So as I think you all know, there are a pretty significant election happening November 5th. There are 3 council positions open and a mayoral position open. That's probably one of the larger vacancies I've seen in recent years for an election. So, as you know, I think seniors make up a pretty significant percentage of the population of Longmont. In fact, I think based on city records, 60 and over make up the largest population segment in the city of Longmont. There are several groups that historically do candidate forums, such as the Chamber of Commerce, the League of Women's Voters. But I'm proposing we should consider doing one focused on seniors and having the Senior Citizens Center host a candidate forum for the for those running for city council and for those running for mayor sometime this fall before the election.
What do you think logistically can we do that?
I have to explore that.
Okay,
I don't know if that's something that we can do.
right. We weren't sure either, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And the only way I see it, this is just my, this is only my opinion. The only way I think we could explore that is if every candidate is available and in attendance and has that equal opportunity. Meaning if somebody has let's say, I don't know how many candidates there are. Let's say if there's 5. But if 4 of them couldn't make it or able to attend and one had a scheduled conflict, then I don't think we'd be able to, because we're not providing that opportunity for the other person. I know it's because of their own schedule, but their voice isn't heard and they're not a part of that, if that makes sense.
Can you?
I could look
Is that
into
something
that
you
to
can
see
check
if it's an
on? Yeah, because I know the other organizations don't have that stipulation.
Right, but if it's a one-off for one candidate, we 100% cannot, because that's a senior services and we're senior candidate.
Yeah, there are, as of right now, there are roughly 13 people running for a council position, and then there are 4 people running for the mayoral position.
How do you see,
Everybody has
putting
to
that
be in
together?
attendance, huh?
I think we have to offer, at least
Just
offer to everyone. I'm not sure
Well,
about,
right.
how do you foresee putting this together in the
I
time we
would
have?
say it's not even offer. If there's that schedule conflict, then it's just my opinion, that the perception and a lot of explaining, well, this candidate wasn't there. Or anybody who calls or comes to our front desk, or, you know what I mean, then that's not really our place to explain to everybody why a candidate was not present.
Can we-
no, I agree with that. Yeah.
Would we check with Dawn Quintana to see if that's appropriate?
Yeah. Well, I'll start with, my director, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Well, we're on a short tether, I would think, so
Yeah.
what do you think as far as timing?
Well, there's a lot of logistical things. I think step 1 is, can we do it, given what Ronnie just pointed out. If there is an appetite and we can do it, then there are a number of logistical things that would need to take place, right? And I haven't conducted one of these before. One thought I had was to get a hold of somebody, maybe from the League of Women's Voters or Chamber of Commerce, that has done something like this before. If anybody knows someone, then please let me know.
Also, the Longmont area Democrats. One of
Yeah,
those groups
yeah.
put forums together that we could piggyback or with or no, and then refer people there.
That might be showing favor.
That's part
of it. Yeah, I would keep it down
Or
partisan.
leaning towards a
Yeah.
party that we don't wanna do.
But expertise, we could certainly.
Right, but
draw
you
from.
could definitely get some expertise, you're right.
Yeah, but we have to identify, a venue. We'd have to figure out timeframes. Do we do it several? In other words, if you've got 13 people, can you really have an effective candidate forum with 13 people running for council? It might make more sense to do it on 2 different times and have maybe, 6 and 7.
So,
There's a lot of things that would need to be.
There's a lot of factors to consider and weigh out,
Yeah.
and I understand the intent. We just gotta, we have to look at, there's a few things, right? Time and energy, space availability, dates, times, and, running it by the city clerk's office. Is this even within the scope of an advisory board, right? Or is this work that other groups do?
I think the museum has done some of those forums, or like for the mayor.
They have, yeah. I think
they've
Chamber
done
of Commerce actually used the
Kind
museum.
of, yeah.
And so that's what I mean, right? Is there a different organization that's organized and put it together, and a city building was just the location for it? So,
Eric?
a lot of questions to ask.
Eric had a comment.
I don't know if you guys know Mike Butler, a lot of you do, he's a former head of
Sure.
public safety for the city. He has an event called SOSIS every other Thursday, they're doing it this Thursday, at Left Hand Brewery. While it might not be ideal, they've already arranged to have all of the candidates speak in a series of meetings in October.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, and if we could, if we have people there, will be taking questions, and we can look at it that way, but that's already arranged, and that doesn't have the logistics problems that doing something impromptu at this point in the process will entail.
Right.
So is this creating the wheel is what you're saying?
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's Tyson perspectives.
Yeah,
Lonnie?
and you get to drink beer.
Can't do that here either.
Yeah, right.
I think one of the
Don't wanna encourage
benefits,
that.
if we could do it, whether we do it this year or we do it some other time, is that we can bring in the questions
That's
that
right.
really focus on seniors.
Right.
We're just not one of many topics that are being brought out to candidates. We can focus senior, questions regarding the senior population and what our future looks like and everything else. So that was when I first talked to John, first brought it up to me about, I could see that benefit. So that is a big benefit of us having it. However, there's a lot that we have to go through before we can decide whether we're gonna do it or not.
I agree.
But if we don't do it this year, it's certainly something to look at for the future, because it does give the opportunity to focus on questions for seniors.
So I hear the board has an appetite to see if that's a possibility, and the first step is to make sure that we can even do it.
Yeah.
And that's up to you. Talk to Christina, let us know. And then if there's I'm not sure why we would go to the city clerk. I guess if it's to see if it's in our mandate.
That's what
Okay.
it's to explore, if it's even within the scope.
Even the idea of doing it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And as a secondary choice, if for some reason we don't have the timing for it now, there might be some of the forums that we could participate, not as senior citizens advisory board members, but as seniors, to your
Right.
point,
Exactly.
concerned, because I'd like to hear candidates, I'd like to have them describe to me, what are you gonna do for us as seniors?
And we could get really good at knowing what questions
Yep.
to ask and go from place to place, at different forums or different, different candidate forums and really bring out the questions.
Yeah, it's very important that them to know, what are our concerns
Yeah.
as far as the seniors and what is their response? What do they know? What are they willing to get involved and do for their seniors?
And I would like them to see the representation, the people showing up and saying, wow, there really are seniors who are interested in what's going on. And, I think that would be something that's,
I think that's a good point. I think even if the advisory board can't, it might be
Right.
possible for individuals to get together and show up at forums asking senior questions.
yep,
Not as board members, but as concerned citizens,
seniors.
because that invisible part, that's got to stop. That depends on us to do that. Okay, so Ronnie, we can hear back from Christina and how to proceed.
Yep.
Okay,
could you email us?
Yep.
So we're not waiting until the
Let
next
us know.
meeting?
Randy, I've got a document I'll email you to that outlines it in a little bit more
Okay.
detail what I'm looking for.
Thank you.
cool. Okay, we got a little over 20 minutes. Manager's report.
All right. Yeah, I'll make it quick. So I gave everybody a copy of the Go. That just came out as of today, Wednesday. On Monday, we received it over closure, so available to the public on Monday. We have, it's day 6th.
Beautiful book, by the way.
Yeah, great cover.
Looks beautiful.
Minus John was missing from that photo. August 11th, fall program registration begins, and the 20th, our fall trip lottery. So we're up and moving, we're going, and any questions on the Go? If everyone had a chance to take a look at it, I sent everybody the digital copy in advance. Okay. Wanted to get board feedback and recommendations on a couple of things. I brought Kaylee, and she brought up a good question, right? And I just want to see your thoughts on this. Do you want me to unpack it, or would you like to?
I would like to hear your take on it.
Okay. So a good recommendation to create awareness for the increase in senior STDs and STIs. And so we were talking about it, just is there an opportunity to either do a campaign to bring that awareness, or is it something that we can do just throughout the year, just to provide this opportunity available? So providing a space in our restrooms where there is a sign just identifying, bringing that awareness, right? The statistical side of this increase, along with a basket of condoms available in the restrooms. And so I wanted to get your take, get your thoughts, get your feedback on providing that option, making that option available as a one-time, again, doing a campaign, or keeping something like that ongoing here in the senior center.
And I have some stuff that I printed out. I sent Ronnie it digitally, but if you want to see, and if you're interested, the highlights for me really, I only printed like 5 of them, so I'll just give you guys a couple that you can look at. One, what percentage of seniors who are sexually active do you think are using condoms?
Probably not very
Any
low.
ideas?
Very low.
The answer is 3%.
Yeah.
What percent of seniors do you think have ever been tested in their entire life for STDs?
Probably pretty close to 3% or less.
Right?
Yeah. Or none.
43%.
43. Oh, that's good.
What percentage of seniors do you think have their doctor ever asked them about their sexual health?
Depends on your age.
Well, over the age of 55, 87% of seniors in this study, in this research here, will show you, have never been asked by their doctor as a senior about their sexual health, about sexual contact, about STIs or STDs, and the seniors themselves have also never asked. And the research really shows that the reason why that is because most of your doctors are younger than you, and they are not comfortable with it. They have had less than like one course, if they had a course, on sexual health. And there is an epidemic of STDs in our country right now amongst older adults, which people don't think about because you think once you're past a certain age, you don't need a condom or you don't need whatever because you can't get pregnant. But if you look at the graphs that are in there, gonorrhea, syphilis, and what's the other one? Gonorrhea and chlamydia in older adults it's an epidemic, not a joke. So when we went to Ridge River, they had condoms in their bathrooms in their casino, which I thought was fantastic as well. So I asked Ronnie if maybe we could do something similar because it's a discreet way to be able to get it, use it if you need it, maybe even just think about it if you haven't thought about it. Because a lot of these STDs don't show any symptoms until it's like way too late, and you have very, very high consequences from them. So that's my elevator speech for why we should have condoms in the bathrooms.
And the location of the restrooms, as Kate mentioned, is a discreet way to access that resource versus having to go to somebody or to in a public space to your front desk to request those resources. So I think it's a, again with the data that Kaylee provided, I think it's definitely worth not only bringing awareness to either again in a campaign or keep this ongoing, but something that I would love to support, but want to see your thoughts.
What would be
Do we have any?
what would the process look like to get the
So-
machines installed?
Right. So, not machines. So it could be a basket. So we can look at different things. Is this something an acrylic thing that we can container that we could get that could just put little stickies on and put it on the wall or something, right? But we're thinking more like a basket. She's got some examples.
Yes, I came prepared. One on this sheet, I only printed 3 of these too, but in the middle it shows you where all of the free condom places are. Then on the bottom it shows you some options that are not just a basket, but that are like a permanent structure if you wanted to do that.
Kaylee did the work to find a
Yes, there's somebody that will donate
a
them.
partner who would donate these resources ongoing or one time, whatever we decide. So it wouldn't impact our budget. We wouldn't have to seek funding from anybody else, any resources from anybody else. It's just an opportunity to bring awareness to our participants, our senior community.
So do you have this information on Colorado as well? This is Wyoming, right?
Oh, that is just, no, Colorado doesn't have that same thing. That was my point with that. Those are all the 3 places in Wyoming, one of them being the casino. Colorado doesn't have the same easily accessible trying to find it information. So this handout, which I did send it to Ronnie digitally, and so he could send it to you guys too if you want. But it does have information about Colorado in it too. And
Nice.
also,
Yes.
My thoughts are it's a great idea. It's a really great idea. I think it's needed.
I think so too,
And I
as a
think-
counselor.
Yeah. I think I'm thinking of it logistically. I think a basket would be very nice in a restroom because it's very casual, it's very discreet. It doesn't make a big deal about it, but you could also put information with it. A leaflet or something that says, here are the statistics. And then as we move forward with it, or as you move forward with it, you can see how it goes. And if you need more condoms, then you might get a bigger, you might get that type of thing that hangs on the wall. But the basket gives it a much friendlier, I'm not saying this right, but it's much easier to go in and grab one and then, introduce the whole idea. Let people know this is going to be ongoing. This is what we're going to be offering from here on in. And I personally think it's a fantastic idea and definitely needed. You're right. Thank you for all that research.
Yeah, I think you all might maybe not be amazed, but the amount of people that tell me I'm the first person that ever asked them about those things is mind-boggling to me. So,
Yeah.
and I'm not a medical professional.
And I really think you're right. People think that when they get past the point of getting pregnant, then, you know, it's really not that big a
Doesn't come
deal
up.
because they don't see STDs as being, you know, something that could affect people.
Mhm.
But yet they can, and they can cause major medical problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm totally in favor of you guys doing whatever you need to do to get this started.
Yeah. I'd like to move, whatever we have to do to move forward on that, but I also ask if there's some kind of, if this could be there in the restrooms so that people
Right.
see. It surprises me to see the kind of statistics you're putting out here, and I don't think I'm
Yeah.
unique in that regard.
Right.
But if we could put something like that up with these baskets, do you need a motion from us to do that, or?
So I was gonna ask that, is there enough information for the board to make a motion, or is this something we need to process and come back to at a later time?
And you do need us to make a motion.
Just for support, yeah.
I would make a motion that the advisory board support you're introducing this as a project to provide condoms in the bathrooms. And for a STD program, or STI program, I would propose that the board support your introduction of an STD program.
Martha, you have something?
I don't budge it, okay? I said, you're telling them you're still at your age, you still can go out there and do it, or, you know, assault somebody or not, and disrespect, I said, of age. No, I mean, you know, you don't want to be there to encourage them. Oh, good idea, we said I can, you're still this age, why not? Why not become a good or whatever not? I have negative feelings about that.
And it's not an encouragement, it's an awareness. I mean,
Oh, no, because when they see that,
The
well, you know,
population we're
here,
serving.
I'm helping you.
I hear you.
Go ahead.
The population we're
That's
serving
fine.
are adults, and adults are allowed to make their own decisions. So it's just a resource available for the decisions to support or to keep them safe in the decisions they make.
And 72% of older adults already have a sexual partner, and many of them more than one. So I don't think not to invalidate your opinion about it, because I think that's valid. I think that people are already thinking about it, and they're just not using condoms.
I think that goes for any age.
Yeah.
That goes for any age, and as
Oh,
long as
of
you
course,
have
yeah.
that provided for you where you can be safe, that's the important part. Because you could say the same thing about kids. When I used to go to the youth center, they used to provide them. Even though I wasn't really thinking about it, I know some of my peers were. So,
And I think too, they're not only providing condoms, but the information that goes with it about why they're providing condoms. And that is with the increase in, you know, what did you call it, an epidemic for older Americans to have STDs. I think that needs to be addressed, and that's what this is doing.
Well, it's also a gap in education. I don't know how many of you had sex ed as a child, but I'm guessing almost none, because it didn't exist
No, I did when I was a
for you.
Yeah, we had that.
So there's a motion. Lonnie, you want to restate the motion?
I propose that the Senior Advisory Board support the senior center staff's introduction of an STD program here. Does that cover it?
Second. Okay, gonna vote? All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Well, I just really need time to think about this more, is really what I want to do. Yeah.
And if anybody wants to talk to me about it, I am more than happy to have a one-on-one conversation with you.
Okay. Well, been a board.
There will
Well,
be-
it passed anyway, so.
There's
Yeah,
been a
let me just
motion.
get out of it. There will be probably some cultural concerns with this. There will certainly be some religious concerns with this.
Sure.
Those are the two concerns that certain people will have.
So we have a motion that's been approved. However, I think you raised an interesting point. Is there something we need to address in that area? As far as cultural differences, whatever? How do we approach that? How do you think?
I I am going to withhold my comments on it because I am very firm in my belief that I think that adults get to make adult decisions.
Well, I think we made the decision, the board's approved it,
Yeah.
you know, so I think we just go move forward on it. So just to John's point, is there something that can be done to address those issues in what you put up?
What I can commit to is we'll run this by other departments who kind of through that equity lens for those components those ones you identified, just to make sure that our communication is accurate and if that makes sense. But yes is the answer.
That we're sensitive.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good point.
All right. Let's see, City Council Liaison, I got a note from Matthew, obviously he can't attend, he's doing his day job.
Ooh, I'm still on manager's report.
Yeah, oh, sorry, good man, don't want to cut you short, but
Recommendations as well. So I want you to consider this as well. Looking through safety and security for our facility. The conversations I've had, again, this is just revisiting a conversation had with campus supervisor and other departments around safety and security. We only have exterior cameras in our facility. Want to get your thoughts and recommendations about installing or exploring an option for interior cameras in the senior center.
Ronnie, what do you think as the director? Do you think that that's a valid concern?
Safety and security inside our facility?
Inside,
Yeah, I do.
okay.
Especially now. You know, what I mean is we're seeing our population increase. Our community's population is increasing. We're seeing more people through our door. You know, with some of the behaviors we've had to address in our facility, you know, there's some situations that have come up where interior cameras would have been beneficial. So my thought is, my opinion, you asked my opinion. My opinion is, you know, it's worth exploring. I have worked with other departments. I'm talking city departments, risk management. Again, our building, our campus supervisor, PD, in different conversations. And most, I can't put a percentage on it, but most buildings in our community, city buildings, have interior cameras. We're one of the very few that do not.
Yeah. So Ronnie, are you thinking, or maybe not, that a good place to start would at least be to have a camera in the lobby area, because those are the main doors, right? So if somebody comes in.
Right.
Are you thinking every conference room, or?
So want to get your feedback and thoughts.
I mean, I think
is there
maybe if we do a trial, you know, just to start things off and see how the feedback is, it seems like a logical place would be at least to have one in the lobby, or multiple in the lobby to get.
So common spaces, right? So different angles to where you can capture.
That's right.
Lobby versus like hallway versus billiard room.
I have another question though. Is there currently any kind of a panic button for the front desk in the event somebody comes in that is a bad actor, you know, that shows themselves to be ready to do some sort of harm, that they can immediately contact the police department? You know, I know we have those types. There are those types of things available, because I think in addition to the camera, we might want to look into that, so that if somebody comes in with an AR-15, because we don't have police at the front door, right? So somebody could, in theory, do that, or a handgun, that we can at least go ahead and immediately notify the police.
So no, that doesn't exist. Is that something we could explore also? Sure, right?
That would seem like a good idea to make the staff feel safer, that they could alert somebody without grabbing for their phone or anything like that.
So the interest of time, can we just discuss or put this on the agenda for next time meeting also?
This one I need to unpack.
Okay,
If there's an opportunity, and the reason why is because of time sensitivity.
Yeah.
you do,
And,
okay.
Ronnie, do you have this budgeted already?
and that's where that's why it's an issue.
Okay.
Is time sensitivity. Is there an opportunity for me to utilize some funds for that? Yes.
Okay.
The longer we wait, that opportunity goes away.
Got it.
If we went down this road.
Yeah.
You know, and this is, the board recommendation is allow me to continue exploring. Right now,
Yeah.
it's an opportunity for us to have further discussions with other departments and staff as well.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to see your thoughts.
Yeah.
I think safety's important,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and I think we should move
Yeah.
forward
Do
on
we
it.
need a motion? Or can we just say we support you?
We support you.
Okay, I don't think anybody opposed it. Anybody
We
opposed?
support you to continue to look into it, let's put it
And
down.
common spaces are all spaces, so we talk about those common spaces and all spaces, including classrooms. What are your thoughts?
You definitely wouldn't want them in the bathroom, but, you know, you could
Can't
put
do
them, yeah,
that.
other spaces would probably be okay.
I think
Yeah.
if we're gonna do it, I'd have it more widespread than just the lobby, because you can't see
Well, we
what's.
can start in the lobby,
I think if he's
and then,
gonna make a commitment to it, I think he should commit to the broader approach.
Yeah,
Unless
so
it's
maybe the billiard room, the cafe,
well, pretty much
where people are coming in and out of.
every place other than bathrooms.
Common
I just don't know about the
That's a good point.
boardrooms.
Public areas, right?
So just those common spaces, like, okay.
Yeah.
All common
For
spaces.
now, I mean,
Cafeteria,
we can
billiard
look at it.
room,
Okay.
front lobby.
Perfect.
That'll give you enough to start with.
Okay, thank you.
Patio.
Patio. Thank you. Some quick updates. Playground. So this outdoor area right here, right next to the playground, they're going to redo that whole playground area, and also build an outdoor fitness area as well.
Okay,
So construction on that set to begin October 25th and conclude April 2026.
good.
And so redoing that whole playground and again creating an outdoor fitness space geared towards
Nice.
making it accessible for our participants, our senior community.
Like they did in Thompson Park.
Yes.
Yeah.
So from a safety standpoint, to go back to that, you're gonna be bringing more people to the area, so having some safety on the inside makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense.
Thank you.
Okay.
50-year celebration updates. We're just again, our team started off with identifying the direction we want to go. We're still brainstorming. Our next meeting that we will be having, our staff meeting, will be able to kind of identify the structure, time, length, days, all of that good stuff. Once we have that structure, that skeletal structure in place, we'll reach out to our advisory board, friends board, and a lot of our group facilitators to be part of a committee to plan everything out. So I want to let you know we're still working on the structural pieces.
Do you know what I just realized? Next year is gonna be a busy year. We're gonna have the national we're gonna have a national celebration of 250. And then Colorado's gonna be what, 150?
150.
And then we're gonna be 50.
Right. So we got a lot of good ideas floating, and so once we get those structural pieces, we'll start looking at developing that committee.
All right.
Closure updates. Got new carpets installed. You saw that. We got paint new on our walls for our billiard room G&E, and our staff offices. We also stripped and refinished the gymnasium floor, clean tiles and carpets that were in the front half of the building. Also clean off some of our chairs and equipment. Our storage areas we cleaned out, and held a variety of staff meetings and trainings for our team during that time. Any questions for me on manager's report?
Nope.
Place looks amazing, and you still kept
Yes.
working the whole time. So hats off
I
to
didn't
your
realize you guys
staff.
were
Oh yeah,
working.
well, an
Oh, yeah.
opportunity for right. We're all so busy.
Yeah.
We're able to do a lot of team trainings and stuff. So it was we don't stop.
Yes.
I tried to get in to sign that paper. That guy, whoever was doing the floor, man, he was firm.
Yep,
Let's
stay
do it.
away.
Let's
I
do it.
can't let anybody in here. I was like, whoa, okay, never mind.
All right. Motion to adjourn.
Wait, one
On
quick
time?
thing. I
Rick?
picked this up and in case anybody hasn't seen it, it's the housing information for older adults folder that you get at the front desk. If you ask for it, people come in and want information on housing. This is what they get. And then they make an appointment with a specialist, with a resource specialist. And basically it has all the applications for all the various places that they can apply to live at. So Anne was surprised when she saw it. She said she never saw anything like that before. So I just wanted to make everybody aware of the fact that this is what's available if anybody comes to the front desk and has any questions about housing.
Thank you.
One more thing, just little, when we're coming up with a day of the dead, they're gonna be outside because the museum is also in construction, spending, so it'll be 4th, there's gonna be that, and then on Kimball, we're gonna have the event. So the table for profit, for non-profit is $100, and the profit $150. And it's gonna be October the 11th from 11 to 3. It's gonna give you the table, information.
And where's it gonna be, Mike?
October the 11th.
Okay, and where?
Where it's gonna close 4th for May, and then Kimbark for the library.
Oh, okay, that's true.
And I just wanna mention I'm going on vacation on August 20th, and I'm going away for 2 months. So I'll be in Connecticut for 2 months.
Going when it's nice up there.